Hi. This poem is called Treasure. I actually wrote it for a prompt called Write a Poem About Treasure. I don't want to have a long-winded introduction and, keep you from listening to the poem, so maybe I'll save my comments for after. Treasure. Raging marauder on hostile commission, committed to looting, forgetting killing, the martial imperative, until spiteful blades pierce his darker side. Thus the predator prone, quizzical eyes scanning, lateral traction of sandals and ankles, and hooves scattering clots of earth, cheek caressing a crooked paver, sand and cinder grist in his beard, gem-studded golden chalice, tipping stiff fingers, filling of blood, draining lacerations, mixing with rain, and flowing like wine no Jesus made for this repugnant communion. Thawing permafrost delivers a mummified army of frozen captives, energizing sentries for centuries consigned to guard their tannic captains, and the treasure by time pried from prideful fists, and the warrior genes, sadist dream of gleaning cloned robotic forces, and molecular remnants, the definition of treasure, perhaps extant in their pickled brains. So, there's a lot going on here, and there's a lot that I didn't even put in. I started thinking, my research for this poem began with, I was wondering how ancient armies carried the treasure that they looted from cities that they sacked. I mean, how do you, just logistically, how do you carry that, just the weight and just, and all your own provisions and so forth. So as I was looking that up, though, I came across some stories of battles that were lost because the marauding armies started looting the cities before they actually won the battle. So they're looting, and then they're getting killed while they're at it. So that was where the first stanza came from. And the second stanza, as I was going on, one thing leads to another. And I started reading about the Scythian army, right, was being, several decades ago, started popping up appearing out of the permafrost in Eurasia. And it's, of course, some Russian official got, the idea that they could make an army of clones because these were supposedly, the fiercest warriors and, had that warrior gene, supposedly. So that's where that second stanza came from. But, on this Memorial Day weekend, maybe it's not right for me to be taking a cynical, attitudes towards war. But what were my notes? Said, I'm sorry, but America seems to glorify war. I mean, it's not even a poem, but it's just in reality. And, Oliver M. M. Takudzi has a song called Andinswe, and he says, "Do you have to die to be a hero?" is the refrain. Do you have to die to be a hero? And in America, I wondered, do you have to kill to be a hero? I'm just wondering, is it true? I mean, it's become such a violent society. On the flip side, as I was studying some things, I came across the Army after World War II did a study because they were worried. How come people were? They were worried about efficiency, right? And they determined that only 15 to 20% of infantry fighters fired their guns, fired their weapons, and even when ordered to do so. So most people have an aversion to killing. or they have an aversion to fighting. I don't know, because a lot of them were probably hiding. I mean, most people probably put their head down. They just want to survive, right? So the army, since World War II, for the last 80 years, right, has been trying to find ways to convince soldiers to kill people. And they said even in World War II, a lot of the special ops people weren't killing people with very great efficiency. Anyway, so that's you can take that with a grain of salt, on this Memorial Day, but I do worry that in this country, if you don't carry a gun, can you be a patriot, in this day and age? I mean, I think you can, and I think, sometimes the patriotic thing to do is to be nonviolent, but it doesn't seem to be the way the society is trending. So, what's important to you? What's your treasure? Okay, there you go, treasure.